followers, views, hits, thumbs up. When did those things become the deciding factor of the value of someone's life? All of a sudden I'm just like, why all of a sudden is that the reason for living? And I started thinking about it also in terms of like, why is that also the sort of driving force of where creativity lies? Listen, I understand that we're living in this technological culture that is asking us to do all those things that we've got to do to be a part of culture, but I think if we're not doing things for the right reasons, it's a very slippery slope and you kind of lose all connection to self. And I started thinking about, why am I listening to an algorithm that is telling me what is popular or interesting or inspiring or whatever? And I started thinking about, the truth is the things that I have been most moved by in life have nothing to do with social media. They all just have to do with real connection. Looking at a sunset. Although nowadays everybody may retweet sunsets, but just the actual experience of seeing it. Or, walking hand in hand with my boyfriend. Oh, that's been a long time. But like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a memory I thought of yesterday when I was like, wow, special things that I have, really changed the course of my life. I'm not so sure social media is changing or really allowing me to have an experience that has really been, really kind of change the context of who I know myself to be. And I just think it's really important that we want to keep checking why we're creating. For what reason? What is driving you? And to what end? If it's just to get a whole bunch of likes, I don't think that it's not sustainable because it's not a real reason to create. So it's fine, I guess, if you have to do it and it's a part of a machinery that you're a part of, it's fine. Just don't let it co-opt. Why do you really want to act and tell stories? And also, as much as everybody's saying that you have to have all those things to succeed, there are many, many examples where that's not the case. I just want to share two stories. One is with Mike Birbiglia, who I've mentioned before, but he has that movie Don't Think Twice that I haven't seen it yet, but I hear is quite incredible. But he says this about creating. He says, be bold enough, this was in the New York Times, he says, be bold enough to make stuff that's small but great. He says, 8 years ago, I made a network sitcom pilot based on my life. It was a dream come true. A sitcom about my life? What could be better than that for a stand-up comedian? Well, it didn't get picked up. I was devastated. But here's the kicker. Failing to get that sitcom was the single greatest stroke of luck that's happened in my entire career. The show wasn't truly my comedic voice. It was watered down by network and studio notes to the point of being like dozens of other bland sitcoms. After that, I no longer wanted to create projects for the Hollywood gatekeepers. The networks, the studios. Since then, I've created a handful of pieces for This American Life on NPR, self-produced 3 off-Broadway one-person shows, toured hundreds of cities around the world, and written, directed, and starred in 2 feature films, all outside the system. Based on that work, I've been offered small movie roles by people who work inside the system, which is to say, leaving the system behind and creating something of your own may actually be the thing that gets you into the system, hopefully on your own terms. Oh my God. The point is, forget the gatekeepers. As far as I'm concerned, what you create in a 30-seat hole-in-the-wall improv theater in Phoenix can be more meaningful than a mediocre sitcom being half-watched by 7 million people. America doesn't need more stuff. We need more great stuff. You could make that. I mean, is that not the most inspiring thing ever? That's really it. And then he goes on, one other point, he says, cleverness is overrated and heart is underrated. He says, plus there are fewer people competing for heart, so you have a better chance of getting noticed. Sometimes people say, one thing you have to offer in your work is yourself. I disagree. I think it's the only thing. So how many times have you heard that? That the thrust of the work and the philosophy and the ethos of the school and the teaching, and I think all creativity as I get older, is yourself. You are the reason we're interested in whatever it is that you're creating. You. And I want to end with this, because then I heard Gabby Hoffman, I don't watch Transparent, but I guess I need to watch it now. They asked, when you came back to acting and started getting roles, what did you like? Or what did you like now about acting that you didn't realize was part of acting before? And Gabby says this, I still don't know exactly. I know that what I love in the experience that I'm having now and have had, and it's mostly that I get to work every day with really extraordinary people. And our job, and very few people can say this, my job, I am paid to dive deeper into my own humanity. Yes! And do that with other people in collaboration. You know, when you're working with the likes of Louie and Jill and Lena, people who are really in it to get to the funny, real, tragic, painful truth, then it's almost like a spiritual experience. I don't really know what I do. It's almost like I go into a blackout when I'm acting. I love that so much. I just know that it feels really good, you know, when you connect and find it. So I'm still trying to figure out how to answer that question for myself, but I am every day curious about it. And I'm listening to myself, and to all these other people, and the writers, and everybody that I'm collaborating with, and responding. And I don't know where that's going to lead me. And every day I discover more about who I am, and what about acting turns me on. But also, just who I am and how I feel about the world. And there's nothing more exciting and energizing to me. You guys, that is a real reason to be doing it. It's not for a like, that. Your own innate spiritual exploratory development of self. That's why we're doing it. Whether you can put it in those terms or not. You keep driving to the heart of that, you're going to be fine. You'll be fine. You'll find a way. Okay?